Hello, welcome back to the channel. So, just wrapping up a family holiday out in Croatia. Worst places to run. And I thought it's probably time to embark on another training series. So, after focusing quite heavily on London Marathon, and then running Race to the King, took a couple of weeks off, and then returned to running because feel sort of some niggles around, etc. So ended up sort of taking a bit more of an extended break, not quite following the plans that I had for the remainder of the year. So I've pivoted, and what's coming up next is a race in January 2026, which sounds like a lifetime away, but a bit like Christmas, it'll be on us before we know it. I'm going to do an ultra called Country to Capital Ultra. So while I've been out here on holiday in Croatia with the family, we're sort of about a mile and a half from the nearest town centre. So I've taken it upon myself to run each morning, to go and buy the breakfast, and then as best I can run back without damaging the breakfast goods. So a little bit of a runner's paradise along here. It's a little bit of a cycle path, incredibly popular with runners in the morning, getting their run in before the heat arrives for the rest of the day. Had a fantastic time, recommend Croatia to anyone, and the kids have really found their calling with Aquafit each day in the hotel pool. So after years of trying to get them into parkrun, looks like Aquafit's the way to go, or aqua aerobics. So I suppose the starting point is what's Country to Capital Ultra. Well, it's an ultra that I've done, I think 3 times before, might be 4 times, but definitely 3 times. I've had a real mixed bag of experiences with it. I would say, I don't think I've ever turned up to the start line feeling particularly fit over the years. And so that's my target this year, is to change that and actually train for it. And know that standing on the start line, I've put some training in. So, Country to Capital is billed as a 45, or always used to be billed as a 45-mile ultra, but that was laughable because it always come up as 43 or 42.9. Starts in Wendover in Buckinghamshire, and the opening 20 or so miles are through beautiful trails. Can be a bit lumpy depending on what the weather's been like in Britain, can be a bit muddy as well. But then the second half of it, once you come off those trails, you come onto a canal, and that canal is a straight path, flat as a pancake, straight into the centre of London and into Paddington. There's only one turn on that canal, it's the left turn, back 13 and a half miles to Paddington, and that's the only place you can go wrong. I'm saying go wrong because the entire course is self-navigating. You get given a map, I think you get given some instructions, and good luck to you. There's no signposts, and so that's one of the challenges. Training for Country to Capital. As I said earlier, I want to have actually put some training down, feel like I'm in a good place for it. So I'm going to follow a plan from Relentless Forward Progress, which is a book and quite often seen as one of the bibles of ultra marathon running. Excellent book if you haven't read it. I'm going to follow the 50-mile plan from that book. So the plan itself is 24 weeks long. Unfortunately, I've missed the first week. This is the second week, and in this heat, whilst on holiday, I'm not following the plan to the letter by any stretch of the imagination. The fact I've got 3 5k runs in is a win in my book. So it's really 22 weeks of a 24-week plan, but it is what it is. And the general principle behind this plan, very much an kind of 80-20, it's probably a 90-10, with 90% of it focused on slow, reduced running, relaxed running, and then They do an optional 10% of speed work 1 day a week. 90-10 doesn't really fit with me. I prefer 80-20. And if you want to know more about 80-20 training and the benefits of it, Running Calf did an excellent video. If I can do something clever, I'll link to it. If I can't, most likely, I'll put a link in the description. So, I'm going to mix it up with, essentially I'm going to do the weekly mileage that it's after. And then on a Tuesday and a Thursday, I'm going to try and get to the local running club and do whatever session they've got on the books. The other thing I'm going to try and throw into the mix, because of that hilly terrain and how I got found out at Race the King, I'm going to do so many more hills. Basically the long run is going to be off-road. It's going to take in some of the bigger hills in the local area, albeit I live in the flatlands, but that's the plan. So broadly, Relentless Forward Progress, broadly 80-20 running split, with speed work and hill work coming at the sessions at the local running club, and then those long runs probably taking in a park run sandwich, and also seeking out some hills and trying to get so much stronger on hills. So we've just arrived in the port of Porrick. Good time to take a minute breather, and then we'll get going again. It's stupidly hot already. Next thing I'll be looking at is nutrition. Nutrition's always been a big weakness of mine. Remember, I once did a sports science study for the University of Hertfordshire, and as part of that they reviewed my food diary for me as a favour, and they basically said you'd be better off not running one night of the week, sitting down working out a food plan and taking it from there. So I'm going to try and dial in my nutrition this time round and see if we can make massive improvements there. Obviously running up hills you can get faster in two ways. You can get stronger or you can get a bit lighter. Hopefully I can do a mixture of the two. And then finally, as I hinted to before, January 26 seems like a lifetime away at the moment. It's a long training plan, 24 weeks, even the 22 weeks I'm doing, half a year, 6 months. So need to break it up a little. So I've got a few events coming up between now and then. So I'll try and do a weekly vlog series about how training's going. But also, and I'm on holiday so I can't fully remember these, but hopefully I get most of them right. The next event in the diary is an aquathon. So it's Duck and Dash, did it last year. I'll put a link to the description from last year. Put a link to the video from last year in the description if you're interested. And it's basically a 400 metre swim followed by a 5k run. Next up should be an event called Run Round the Garden, another 5k in the local area, and then keeping with the 5k theme and not really being very specific around ultra running, there's a 5k series as well, and this 5k series is where I've actually got my 5k PB of 22 minutes. I'm not going to be challenging that this year, but hopefully I can go and post a semi-reasonable time for me. 5k, there's 3 of them, happen on a Wednesday night over the course of 6 weeks. So we'll go over there and see what we can do at Hatfield 5k. After that we do get into the longer running stuff. Got a place at Abingdon Marathon. I will try and stretch my legs at that one, put in a bit of an effort. Fastest time this year for a marathon is 4:35. See if we can take a little bit off that, but it won't be the main focus. But hopefully with some training between now and then we'll get some fitness. 6 days after that I'm at Snowdonia Marathon again. Be about the 6th or 7th time I've done it. So being 5-6 days after a hard, what could be a hard effort at Abingdon Marathon, take that on easy, tough course, just get round, enjoy the social aspects of it, have some fun. And then the next race that's booked in after that would be St Neots Half Marathon at the end of November, another local event that I do most years, so go ahead and do that. And then essentially there's a lot of sort of 20+ mile runs on the training plan, and when I see those runs I try and find a low-key marathon to enter, something nice and cheap, nice and local, and essentially I do it as a kind of supported training run. So I don't run hard and fast at those ones, I don't target them, they're training runs. So there'll be a few ad hoc marathons coming up, and indeed as part of this training plan there's a 50k ultra in the build up to it. So I need to find a 50k ultra, 31 mile sort of race run that I can take part in, because I know I won't go out by myself and do that unsupported. So it's future me. I'm out on the final run of the holiday. I only wanted to get some duck and dash training in, so we're going for the croissant run this morning. And one thing I forgot to mention, I'm training for an ultra. I've got a few 5Ks coming up. If you want to see an excellent 5K series on how to train for a 5K, go and follow Mark G's YouTube channel. I'll put a link into the description. As he tries to go sub 20, taking 2 minutes off his 5K time, and I hope I'm not giving it a commentator's curse. Things appear to be moving in the right direction for him. So there we have it. If you made it this far, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe. Subscribing really helps if you can. And what I intend to do is some kind of weekly update about how the training's going, much like I did for London Marathon, following forward relentless progress 50-mile plan, and let's see where we get to.